right, we are back again so soon. I know I'm on a real hot streak right now. I'm hoping I can keep this up for as long as I can. But welcome back to Potted Plant Entertainment, everyone. If you missed my review for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, go check that out. If you missed my review for The Thing, go check that out too. Today, I know I have not done my yearly holiday special yet. Should still be coming. That should be my next review. I also have a surprise review coming as a bonus to y'all. But today, we are going to be doing my top 10 favorite movies of 2023. Now, keep in mind, I want you to see my bell. I'm very proud of my bell, in case you can't tell, that I got from the dollar store. So I want to make sure you guys are able to see my bell. Let's name this bell. Let's name this bell Belford. That's Belford. Okay. I don't normally get these out this early in December. I normally wait till like January, but I got my list completed. There's not really anything else coming out this year that I really am dying to see. I haven't seen Dream Scenario yet, but that's kind of an if you can get to it movie. But I got this finished. I got my list for this finished, and I got my list for my worst of the year. That video should be coming soon as well. And then pretty soon we'll be getting my most anticipated of 2024. But here it is, my favorite movies of 2023. Now, 2023 was a very rocky year, not just for my personal life, but for my life on YouTube. And I didn't get to do an individual review for everything that I saw, even though I really, really wanted to. And I didn't even do a first reaction for everything that I saw this year. So some of these movies I'm going to be talking about, this is going to be like your first time even hearing me mention it, I'm pretty sure. But they're on here. Yeah, so, and it was like I said, I had to make some big changes to the channel this year. This had to become I review what I want, when I can type thing, rather than me being like Chris Stuckman or freaking Sean Chandler or some other similar YouTuber that tries to review as much as they can. That's what I used to do, but now that my life is so much different than it was when I first started YouTube, that's not the way it is anymore. So I just review the movies that I really want to, if I can. So some of these might be your first time hearing me mention it. But here they are. These are my favorite movies of 2023. Now, this does not mean that these are the best movies that came out this year. I'm sure there are some better films, the ones I got on this list that I just didn't see, but these are my personal favorite, ranked from 10 to 1. By the way, do you like my shirt? Do you like my Indiana Jones patch? I think it's pretty nice, but as I was putting it on for this video, I realized the buttons are on the left side, not the right side, so I'm pretty sure this is for girls. And I just realized it right before recording, and now I'm sad. But I'm wearing it, because you know what? Dial of Destiny came out this year, so it seemed appropriate. All right, before I get to number 10, let's go into my honorable mentions. My first honorable mention, which I don't think I've ever done honorable mentions before. Maybe I have, and if I have, I only mentioned like one movie, but I got a few honorable mentions this year. My first honorable mention is Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. This movie bombed, and I am so sad that it bombed, because it's actually really good. Yeah, there's an over-reliance on CGI, and you guys know me, I absolutely cannot stand that. But still, this had really good characters. I've bought merchandise from this movie. I got Funko Pops and action figures from this movie. It's a really good movie. The great characters, great story. I mean, it's not a 10 out of 10 or anything like that, but still, it was funny. I really enjoyed it. Chris Pine has a lot of charisma as an actor. I think him and Michelle Rodriguez worked really good together. I really, really enjoyed this movie, and apparently there's still a chance we're going to get a sequel to this, even though it bombed, which I'm very happy about, because I really enjoyed this movie, and it deserves a sequel. My second honorable mention is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now, I know a lot of people hated this movie. Some people shredded into this movie. I really like this movie. It is not as good as I wanted it to be. Not by a long shot. But it was a lot better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So I can say that at least. But for me, Indiana Jones just holds such a special place in my heart that I went to go see this movie 3 times. As a matter of fact, I went to see it on opening day, and then I went to go see it opening night. But like I went later that night. No, I went in the morning. Yeah, because I went as soon as I got off work. I remember that because I wanted to go see it on Thursday, on the during the Thursday previews, but I couldn't because I was working. I worked night shift. When I got off that morning, I just went straight from home to the theater and just downed an energy shot. That's how excited I was for this. And then the next day, I went that morning as well. And then later on, I took my aunt to see it. So I saw it 3 times. Um, Leaving the theater, I had mixed feelings, but generally positive feelings. And then I sort of felt a little bit better about it when I watched it again. But I pretty much cemented my opinion on it at that point. It's a pretty good movie, but it is very flawed. And the only reason I wanted to put in my honorable mentions is just because I enjoyed it enough to go see it 3 times, but it wasn't good enough to make my top 10, which is very disappointing. Because I remember, this was my most anticipated movie of 2023. So, that's saying something. At number 3 on my honorable mentions, we have The Flash. Look, I really like The Flash. Yeah, the special effects are absolutely atrocious, but I really enjoyed it. And the main reason for it obviously was Michael Keaton as Batman, right? That was the whole pull for me to The Flash, was seeing him as Batman again, right? And boy, did he not disappoint. He kicked butt. It was great. Not a perfect movie, obviously, but still was one I really enjoyed. My 4th honorable mention is going to be Creed 3. I really enjoyed this. It's far from the best movie in the Rocky franchise, and Sylvester Stallone, I feel like, was sorely missed from this film. But I really enjoyed it. I really like Michael B. Jordan, and I really like him as this character. I really like this character. I really like the final fight in this movie when like they sort of like went into an alternate dimension. I don't know, that was interesting. It was different, which I appreciate them doing something different, and I enjoyed that. And then my last honorable mention is Next Goal Wins. Next Goal Wins is a movie that's getting seemingly mixed reactions, but one that I personally really enjoyed. It's based on a true story. It was very funny. It was very charming. Michael Fassbender does a lot of bad movies, and he really needs to start doing better movies. I don't know if it's like his agent just picking the worst movies possible for him, but this one, I feel like they picked a pretty solid one for him. I really enjoyed it. It was cute. It was charming. I had a good time with Next Goal Wins. All right. Now, number 10. Number 10 is The Creator. This was a movie that also seems to have been met with mixed reactions. The Creator, it's not perfect. I wish there was a little bit more world building, kind of like Star Wars, like the original Star Wars, how it does so much world building. I wish that this had more of that, but I really enjoyed it, even though there was some questions I still had at the end that I'm not sure were answered, and they were answered. I probably missed it, but this was so cool. It was original. The special effects were beautiful. Gareth Edwards, even though he made that god-awful Godzilla movie in 2014, this is probably my favorite of his films, because I like Rogue One, but I always thought it was overrated. But The Creator is fantastic. I really, really, really liked The Creator. It was so good. The action was great. It got into the characters and the story and the universe and the world that they were trying to build that they could have done a better job at building. This was just a great original movie that I wish more people went to see. But no, because it's not Marvel, nobody wants to go see it. That's just the way it is now, and it's very disappointing. The Creator's great. If you get the chance, watch it. At number 9, we have Evil Dead Rise. Okay, so Evil Dead Rise was a movie I personally really enjoyed. It seems like some other people didn't quite feel the same way, especially one guy at one screening who yelled and screamed at, the Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell and other people saying that the movie sucked. That was a thing that happened. He's entitled to his opinion, even though that's very rude. But I really enjoyed it. I'm a big, huge fan of Evil Dead franchise, and I've been trying to review the movies for forever. I reviewed Ash vs. Evil Dead, and I've been trying to review the movies for so long. I just have not found the time Hopefully, sometime next year, preferably around Halloween, I can get to those movies. But Evil Dead Rise was a really solid addition to the franchise. I enjoyed it quite a bit more than the reboot. I'm not a big fan of the reboot, but this movie was just so much fun, and the humor was dark. It was funny, but in a messed up way. It was so enjoyable. The gore was great. I had so much fun with it. The makeup was fantastic. I loved Evil Dead Rise. I had so much fun with it. At number 8, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I've watched this movie twice now. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more the second time. But this was, as a true Ninja Turtles fan at heart, right? Somebody who grew up with the Ninja Turtles. I love the Ninja Turtles since I was in preschool. Okay. Ninja Turtles have always meant so much to me. So I was very excited for this movie. And I really like it. It's not my favorite Turtles movie, but I really, really like it. I thought the choice to actually go with teenagers for the voice actors was an interesting choice. I'm still very iffy about their choice for Donatello, but they did a really good job. It's cute, it's charming. I mean, anything with the Ninja Turtles I can't really hate because I just love those characters so much. This was a good new story. It was something different. They were able to do something without the Shredder, which I love the Shredder, but I appreciate when they do stuff without the Shredder because sometimes in the Ninja Turtles universe, he can be a little bit overused. I loved Ice Cube as the villain in this movie. It had a whole stellar cast for this. Karen Gillan, or Jillian, however you say it, as Leatherface or Leatherhead was a terrible choice. I don't understand that choice at all. That was terrible. It's like it's like Leatherhead's a guy, but with a girl voice. I don't know what they were thinking with that, but if you haven't seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem yet, go watch it because I feel like not enough people went to go see this, and this was a really, really enjoyable film. At number 7, we have Oppenheimer. I went to go see Oppenheimer twice in theaters. Oppenheimer is fantastic right up until about the last half hour. The last half hour of this movie is where my issue comes in. I just feel like, and I've said this before, after the bomb goes off, it just drags for me. Like that last portion of the film, I kind of like, okay, let's wrap this up. Everything after the bomb, I just didn't really care that much for. But Christopher Nolan is a master filmmaker. And the fact that this didn't even make the shortlist for Best Visual Effects at the Academy Awards is a crime. This is the biggest crime since The Dark Knight didn't get nominated for Best Picture. This is a crime. Guys, we riot. Okay, don't actually riot. I'm not here to incite violence, okay? But still, that's a crime, okay? Oppenheimer definitely should have been nominated for best visual effects. The visual effects in this movie, which by the way, there's no CGI in this movie, which makes this movie even better because CGI is the worst invention ever. I'm exaggerating, of course, but the fact that this was all done with practical effects just makes it much more amazing. I love Matt Damon. I love Matt Damon in anything. Matt Damon in anything is just great. I just recently watched The Monuments Men, which isn't like a great movie, but I really enjoy Matt Damon in it, okay? Anything with Matt Damon, like, is worth watching. And it was... Christopher Nolan has proven time and time again that he's like the best filmmaker walking the earth, and he didn't even go to film school. That's a little fun fact about him for you. Yeah, Oppenheimer's great. It is absolutely fantastic. It's phenomenal. It deserves to be nominated for Best Picture, and if it wins, it totally 100% deserves it. At number 6, we have Killers of the Flower Moon. This is a movie that very unfortunately has bombed at the box office. I am very, very sad that this movie has bombed. I don't... When Martin Scorsese starts bombing at the box office, there is a problem with our society. Killers of the Flower Moon is not his best work. It is not. I'm not even sure if I would put it in my top 5 Scorsese movies. But Killers of the Flower Moon is a great film, and you should go see it. It's still in theaters right now of this recording, and you should go see Killers of the Flower Moon if you have not already. Go support this movie. Yeah, it's long, but dude, so what? Like, I hate that art. It's too long. When I went to go see the movie, about 2.5 hours into it, this group of people, maybe slightly younger than me, all got up and walked out. And I'm just like, if you made it this far in the film, you're clearly enjoying it. It's very obvious they just walked out because they thought it was too long. And I don't respect that at all. Okay? I mean, yeah, I had to get up at one point to go to the bathroom, but I only had to do it once. It's just, I hate people. People suck, man. Killers of the Flower Moon is a great film. There's just some movies out there that you really shouldn't support that people are supporting instead of films like this. And I hate that. I hate that so much. Go see Killers of the Flower Moon. It is very, very much worth your time. At number 5, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, look, I know I am a big Marvel hater. I know I'm a big anti-MCU guy. But my exception to my Marvel fatigue, stupid jet, my exception to my Marvel fatigue is Guardians of the Galaxy. I love these characters. Ever since I first saw the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie in theaters, in 3D, and I got a headache back in 2014, I have loved these characters. These characters are so phenomenal. They are casted so perfectly. James Gunn, you can tell, loves these characters just as much as I do because he always does them justice, except with Star-Lord in that one moment in Avengers Infinity War, but that's beside the point. Besides that, they always do great with these characters. And I just, yeah, it wasn't perfect. I had some issues with it, but this was such a great movie. It's such a wholesome, heartfelt movie that drives your emotions and you get into it. The story's beautiful. The characters are amazing. The action's great. I just love Guardians of the Galaxy. And of course, it had to make this list. At number 4, we have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So I loved Into the Spider-Verse, but I have not watched it since I saw it in theaters. I love Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, but I have not watched it since I saw it in theaters. I don't know why. I just don't really feel the need to revisit these. Maybe, I guess I view these movies kind of like the Godfather trilogy. How often yeah, they're great, but how often do I really want to go back and rewatch those? For some reason, I just feel the same way about these movies, but I can't deny they are great. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was a beautifully animated story with amazing characters, an amazing story. It was so funny. It was so charming. It was so witty. I loved this movie. It exceeded my expectations. Yeah, it's just a great film. And it had to make this list. And I'm glad that it did well at the box office. And I look forward to the third one. Yeah, it ended kind of suddenly, but that didn't really bother me because I know we're getting more. So, whatever. And number 3. This is when we're really getting good. At number 3, we have Godzilla Minus One. Godzilla Minus One is the best. You can put me on record saying this. Godzilla Minus One is the best monster movie since Jurassic Park. Yeah. This movie had everything. Godzilla is so cool in this movie. The characters are great. I love these characters. I have a hard time remembering their names just because, the whole movie's in Japanese. But everything about this movie worked. Everything about this movie worked. I had a couple of nitpicks with it, but everything about it worked. The ending was great. The story's great. The character's great. I'm just saying the same things over and over again, but still, this is the best monster movie since Jurassic Park. If you have not seen Godzilla Minus One, run out to your local theater and go support this movie. Thankfully, it's doing well at the box office, but not as well as it deserves. This is filmmaking at its best. Godzilla Minus One is one of those movies that reminds me why I love filmmaking so much. And even Gareth Edwards said that this movie made him jealous, which it should, because his movie is freaking terrible. Sorry, I just really freaking hate that 2014 Godzilla movie. But this movie is fantastic. This is one of my all-time favorite monster movies. This is right up there with Jaws and Jurassic Park. It's right up there with those kings of the monster franchise. This is what filmmaking is all about. Please, please, please go see Godzilla Minus One. And don't let the fact that you have to read subtitles turn you off to it. It is amazing. It is a beautiful, heartfelt movie where I actually didn't mind taking a break from Godzilla to focus on the characters. That's how good this movie is. And this movie is basically a big middle finger to all the American Godzilla monster movies, because this is just worlds ahead of those movies. I mean, sure, Godzilla versus Kong was fun, but the writing in it is awful and the characters are awful. This is a masterpiece of filmmaking. And it's honestly surprising that this made number 3 on my list, but there was a couple of movies that I can't deny I enjoy a little bit more. At number 2, we have John Wick Chapter 4. John Wick Chapter 4 is what action filmmaking is all about. Practical effects, real stunts, Steadicam, and awesomeness. Yeah, I sort of started that 4th one before I could think of anything else to say. This movie's awesome. It's beautiful. It is the color scheme in this movie is so beautiful. The cinematography is so beautiful. Keanu Reeves is so good. He's so dedicated to this. Everybody is so dedicated to this. They get so creative with these action sequences. I talked about this movie when I ranked the John Wick franchise. Go check out that video. This is what action filmmaking is all about. And the runtime just flies. You don't feel it at all. It's about 3 hours and you just don't feel it at all. John Wick Chapter 4 is like one of the best action movies since Mad Max Fury Road. And I compare a lot of action movies to Mad Max Fury Road because Mad Max Fury Road is just up there with the pinnacle of action filmmaking. And this movie should sit right on a pedestal next to it. This is filmmaking. I love John Wick Chapter 4. And at number 1, last year Tom Cruise made number 2 on my list. This year I'm giving him the top spot with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is one of my all-time absolute favorite movies. This is one of my favorite action movies, like right up there. You guys know how much I love Raiders of the Lost Ark, obviously. This goes right up there with it, guys. If you didn't see this, you're not my friend, okay? I hate that this movie did not make money. I hate it because it's so good. This is what action filming is all about. It has a great story, a great smart story that's not written for morons. It actually asks you to pay attention. I mean, sure, it's not nearly as convoluted as the original, but still, it's got a very interesting story. It's a little stereotypical in some ways, but it does enough creative things with it to where you can get into it. Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie have outdone themselves. They have continued to top every entry in this series. I don't know how they do it, but ever since they brought it back after MI3, they have continued to top themselves. I thought Rogue Nation was better than Ghost Protocol. I thought Fallout was better than Rogue Nation, and I think this is even better than Fallout. I don't know how they keep outdoing themselves, but they have created a masterpiece. This is filmmaking at its pinnacle. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is everything that I want to one day possibly accomplish in the filmmaking industry. I want to make cool stuff like this. I don't know who would ever give me a budget for it, but this is what I want to do. I see movies like this and I get inspired. I'm like, that's my dream. is to work with Tom Cruise and make something this freaking cool. And I'm so excited for part 8. So excited. And hopefully they can keep the budget more under control. I know the budget really ballooned because of like COVID. Hopefully they can keep the budget more under control and actually turn a profit, because this movie deserved $1 billion. This should have been $1 billion movie. And it's sad that it wasn't, but it should have been. Yeah. It's great. I love it. And we're done. All right, I'm going to go. I need water. My throat hurts. Worst of the year, Christmas special, most anticipated next year, and surprise review coming soon. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Potty Planetarian for more. Hit the like button. Leave a review suggestion down in the comments down below if you want. I don't know. No one ever does, but you can if you want. Subscribe. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Go check out my previous videos. I've been uploading a lot lately. Go check them out. Go check out my review for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's pretty funny. You'll like it. It's fun. It's a good time. Go have fun. Enjoy. Okay. I'm going to go. Peep the shirt one more time. Awesome shirt. Probably made for girls, but I don't care. I like it. All right. I'm going to go. Bye.